Everybody loves garlic. Well, maybe not everybody, but we do, and we like to cook with garlic. But here in the South, we live in Zone 8, in the deep South, we have trouble growing garlic. I have tried several different varieties over the years and not had a lot of luck. We have very mild winters sometimes, and sometimes we have hard winters. Last year, our first frost date was January 20th. So it's very unpredictable what kind of winter we're going to have. And I've not had luck growing garlic. We have very high humidity. We have very warm springtime sometimes. Our temperature gets way up early on. Sometimes it doesn't. So we have failed at growing garlic. So several years ago, I talked to a friend of mine, Herman, down at Turkey Hill Farms in Tallahassee, Florida, and he told me about elephant garlic. Well, elephant garlic isn't actually a garlic. It's a variant of a leek, but it grows well here, and we started growing it, and we've had great success with it. So I want to show you how we grow our garlic down in the South, and maybe it can help you. As you can see, the leek's huge, and here's just one clove here. And we're going to plant them about 4 to 6 inches deep, and we're going to plant them in rows about 22 inches apart. Now, we don't like to use herbicides, so weeds can be a problem with onions and leeks. So we want to plant them so we can get in there and work them and keep the weeds out with our wheel hoe, and I'm going to show you how we do that. All right, here's our onions we planted. I plant my onions about 16-inch rows. That gives us plenty of room where I can run my single wheel hoe down through there. I can also take my double wheel hoe and run through there and keep the weeds out. So here's the single wheel hoe, and I'm running the middles. I can also come back and straddle that row with my double wheel hoe and get it real close, because weeds can be a problem with these onions and these elephant garlic. So 16 inches there, because I like to plant real thick where I don't have to compete with my weeds as much, and I can keep it weeded out good. And there's no use in having them spread out so far that you have to go in there and weed a lot. So I busted off and I went 24 inches from my onions to my leeks, and then I'm going to plant my leeks on 22-inch rows. So I take my row marker, I got it set at 22 inches, and I'm going to mark off my rows. So I take the double wheel hoe, got my plow set up in the middle buster position here. I'm going to bust me out of first so I can plant my elephant garlic. So you always want to plant your elephant garlic with a blunt end down and with this pointy end up right position, because it's going to sprout and come up from right here. 6 to 8 inches apart, 4 to 6 inches deep. So I got my plows set out in the healer position. I'm going to go down through there and cover them up. Be kind of careful as you go through there, and you see it does a great job of covering it up. It's a lot easier than using some other hand tools. So we used the wheel hose to plant our onions and our elephant garlic. We got them set up on spacings that we can use our wheel hoe to keep them weeded, because garlic, onions compete a lot with weeds. We don't use any herbicides, so we have to keep the weeds out manually, and we do that using the double wheel hoe and the single wheel hoe. So if you hadn't grown elephant garlic in the past and you've had trouble growing garlic, regular garlic, you live in the South, you may want to look at it. It's a great plant. We'll harvest it come late spring, early summer, and it'll store all the way through till next year. And the great thing is we can save our biggest and best cloves to plant again next year, so we don't have to buy cloves every year. So there you have it, a good sustainable food source that stores well, elephant garlic.